Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Today, I want to talk about this idea of personal freedom. What is it? Well, for me, personal freedom is the fact that I get to choose who I am. I get to choose what's important to me. I get to choose how I want to live my life and how I want to show up in life. See, what I've come to understand is that within me, I have a certain hierarchy of values. Values to me are where I have significant voids or I want more of in my life. And I make all my decisions on who I am and what I'm going to do based on my top 3 up to my top 6 values. And that defines me. It defines me because I know the framework from which I'm living. I know that framework. I know my number 1 value is to become more aware. I know my number 2 value is to speak and to teach. I know my number 3 value is interpersonal connection. My 4 value is personal health and well-being. My 5th value is being financially free to do what I want, when I want, how I want. And my 6th value is to travel and to learn how to be more aware, to experience other cultures. So once you know these values, you start living them. I make them the basis of everything I do. Every decision I make is based on what I value most. Here's a key thing. If you're procrastinating, gang, it's because it's not a high value to you. There's a little secret. This Saturday, I'm going to do a values workshop where you could join me and you'll walk away knowing your top 3 to 5 values. If you're interested, you can go to Agape Spiritual Center. But no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what is happening around you, guess what? You get to choose. You get to choose who you're going to be and how you're going to respond. And no one can take that away from you. You're always at choice. You may not like the consequences of your choice, but you're always at choice. And no one can take that choice away from you unless you give your power away. And this is what happens. Most people seem to be giving their power away. Why? Why would you give your power away? Why would you give the one thing you value most in the world, your personal freedom? Think about that. What I've learned is that underlying my top values is my freedom. I value that more than anything. And I will fight to keep my freedom. I will allow you in my life as long as you allow me to be free. If you want to control me, you're gone. I don't need to be controlled. I don't need to be controlled, and neither do you. Why would you be in any type of relationship where that person's controlling you? And vice versa. Why would you be in a relationship where you're controlling anyone else? You see, freedom is an essential aspect of love. If I'm going to love Lee, I've got to give Lee freedom to be Lee. If I'm going to love you, I've got to give you freedom to be you. I can't put my judgments and my expectations upon you. When I do that, I take away your freedom. I take away the ability to see that you're whole and perfect just like you are. Yeah, you're unique. We're not going to get away from that. We're all unique. That's what makes the world fun, our uniqueness. I love my uniqueness. I embrace it more and more. And here's the key thing. The more I embrace my own uniqueness, the more I'm able to embrace others' uniqueness. You see, you cannot give more, or you cannot receive more than you give and give more than you receive. It's always in circular and it's even. So, who are you? Do you have a clue? But let me ask you this. You're not a vice president. You're not a nurse. You're not a doctor. You're not a lawyer. Those are things you do. There's a difference between what you do and who you are. And there's a difference between what you do and how you show up. Real important distinctions here. And the question you got to ask is, am I doing what I love? If not, how do I start doing what I love? And then whenever I'm doing something, am I doing it the way I would choose to do it? Never do anything out of obligation. If you can't link it to one of your highest values, you're going to be miserable, absolutely miserable. And one of the things you can count on when you've got a partner, a child, a parent, a coworker, rest assured you'll know one thing. You can trust that they will only do what serves their highest values. If it doesn't serve their highest values, they're not going to do it. So if you've got a teenager and you want them to study and their highest value is video games, socializing, and social media, unless you link it, unless you show them how grades will help them in those other three areas, they're going to do whatever they want to get out of doing their homework. They're going to lie, cheat, not tell you about it. I know. I had two boys. I understand what that's about. It wasn't a value to them. One, it was a value. The other, it wasn't. And it was demonstrated in what they did and how they did it. Look at your own life. Think about that quality. What can I trust you to do? I can trust you to do what you value most. If you don't value it, I can't trust you because it's not important to you. We are driven by what's important to us, and each of us is different. We're each unique. Isn't that the way it should be? So with that, my beautiful friends, know that I am doing the values workshop this Saturday, 1:30, I think 1 p.m. or 1:30. You can find it all at agapespiritualcenter.com. It's a very small cost for something that can change your life beyond anything you've ever imagined. Be a small, intimate group. You'll get a lot of personal attention. So if you're interested, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you, be you. Show up as you want to show up, how you want to show up, and watch how your day goes in a so much more blissful, fulfilling fashion. With that, you're loved. Aloha.